3rd. First 10,000 fans get an opening day beanie courtesy of your local Northland Ford dealers.
It's Morning Talk on News Talk 1250 KBRF, brought to you by Pioneer Care and Fergus Falls Monument Company. Now, here's Mary Dolan and Dave Bishop.
There we go. Good Thursday morning. It is 10 after 9. Another gorgeous weekend on the horizon, and that weekend is not what we'd hoped.
Oh, that's not really what I wanted to hear in this open, but
I just tell the truth.
okay. Well, that's great. You can't go into politics.
I could never go into politics.
Oh boy, me neither. But yeah. Anyway, it looks like it's going to be an okay day today. So get out and
Today's
enjoy.
gonna be
Go,
fun.
go for your walk and walk the dog, or sit out in the driveway or on the deck or something. Just take advantage of some nice weather. The good thing about any kind of weather this time of year, it just comes and goes so quickly.
Yeah.
So are we? What are we looking for?
Let's
I
move
hate
the
to-
screen so we can figure it out. Starting up Saturday night through Sunday and Sunday night, we are going to be seeing some freezing rain, snow, all mixing in.
Yuck. So that mixed bag of tricks that we were
The
expecting.
thing that we all love during the winter.
Yeah.
Or spring.
So did the Twin Cities, did they get hit yesterday with stuff?
I
didn't
don't
even
know.
Yeah, I don't know
I'm so
either.
busy with everything else. I just haven't
Right.
checked that.
It looked like they were going to, that they
Yeah.
were going to get the brunt of what went through yesterday. So maybe I guess if we at least dodged one of those winter weather, kinds of punches, that's
Yeah.
good. So, but it is Thursday already, so
It
my
is.
goodness. And March Madness begins. Of course, there's still some state boys basketball games.
Yep.
And
Pelicans done.
Pelicans done. They had a great season, and we want to thank the team and the coaching staff, and of course, I know all of those people would like to thank all the people who've been following them too, all the
Yeah.
fans. So it's been fun to follow Pelican Rapids basketball, both boys and girls.
Yeah.
And anyway, we just want to congratulate them on a really great season.
Now we got Henning.
Yes. So Henning plays
Today. Either at noon or 1. I can't remember off the top of my head,
Okay.
but you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to pop open the Fergus Now app.
Yes, absolutely.
So pop that open.
Take a look at that, and we'll tell you what. Boy, I tell you, Henning has a really, really fun team to
Yeah.
watch. And boy, they're good. They've really had a great season. They've had many great seasons in a row. In fact, Henning is always one. We've got grandkids who play, and Henning is always one that will beat out, when we're in tournament time. Henning is really, really good.
All I did here is I went to one nice thing. I can bring this up on the screen. I went to the Fergus Now app. I hit sports schedule, and there you go. We got
Okay.
Henning a little bit later on today,
All right.
and they play at 1 o'clock.
Okay. We'll look forward to that. And this is a fun time of year because, tournament time, you just never know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
And of course, if you're big into college basketball,
Ooh, today's
March
the day.
Madness begins. So get ready for your bracket to be busted.
I can't even remember who I picked to win.
Is that right? I'm not on a bracket. So
I got to the finals, and I looked at the two teams that I picked in the finals, and I went, how did I pick these two to be in the finals?
yeah, well, you never know. You could be right this year. You just sometimes I think it's
I got a couple first round,
okay.
miracle games, but
Okay.
or bracket busters.
Yeah.
that I picked.
Okay. We'll see. Some of those brackets. So what? 64 teams. Is that right?
Well, yeah, they're now down to 64.
okay,
It was
so-
68, now it's 64.
Okay. So 16 games coming up.
Yep.
I think this weekend. So lots and lots of basketball.
32 games.
32
Isn't it 16 and 16? Or no, 16 and then 8.
Yeah, I think 16 and then 8.
Yeah, so now
Yeah.
32.
So anyway, going to be a lot of college hoops.
Yeah, 24 games.
Yeah,
A lot of fun.
It's fun to watch for sure. But we want to wish the Henning Hornets good luck in their matchup at 1 o'clock today.
This is the weekend my dad trains for every year.
Yes.
He's got his remote ready. He's ready to flip them on,
Yep.
favorites. Hit this one. Let's go to this one. Let's go to this one. Let's go to this one.
Well, it is a lot of fun. I know that there are some people who don't get a lot done at work today and tomorrow because those games begin. And of course, everybody can sit and stream those games on their phones these days.
Mhm.
And so, yeah, so don't get caught at work watching college basketball, I guess. Well, let's see. Federal Reserve has kept the key interest rate unchanged, predicting 2 rate cuts this year amidst concern of rising inflation and slower economic growth. The Fed Chair Jerome Powell acknowledged that the Trump administration's tariffs have contributed to rising inflation, but expects it to return to about 2% very soon. So, yes, it has risen. It doesn't look like it will be long term. In fact, they're saying very soon it will be back to 2%. So I don't know about you, but I'm seeing a lot of the sky is falling on social media with
There's been
regard.
nothing but sky is falling since November.
Well, and the part that bugs me is I'm seeing a lot of stuff on social media from people who um, I know to be, Democrats. They seem to be further left today than I've known them to be over the past 30 years. Um, but some of it, what I'm seeing posted, has gotten so far out of hand. And I really believe that some of these stories and some of these things that people are sharing with these angry vibes are not even factual. They're
No.
not even true. They're talking about, and most of it comes down to DEI and
Yeah.
how President Trump and Doge is taking out all these DEI programs. Now, just because the D stands for diversity and they're moving out all these DEI programs does not mean that we're going to have black and white schools again. It doesn't mean that if you're black, you can't drink out of this fountain, or if you're white, you can't go to this school. It doesn't mean that. What it means is getting rid of things like, 10 people applying for the same job. And let's say one person is totally, maybe overqualified, but the guy or the woman, probably a woman, who's going to get the job is somebody who's far less qualified, but checks those diversity boxes. Now, I don't care what color your skin is. I don't care if you're a man or woman, what your background is. If you are the best one qualified for the job, you should get the job.
Yep.
But in DEI land, that doesn't always work. And those are the things that they are trying to get rid of and just have people, the best person, get that job.
Doesn't matter their race, sexual orientation.
Call it, we hear racism a lot, but is it not racist
Yeah.
to not pick the white guy because if he is the best qualified for that job, rather to let DEI handle that and pick someone who is far less qualified but checks those necessary boxes?
Because what it does is it takes race out of the equation. And
Well-
there are certain people that want race to be in every occasion.
Absolutely,
And those
absolutely.
are the people who say that you shouldn't pay attention to race.
Yeah, exactly.
The irony.
But I know. It goes against everything they're clamoring against.
Yep.
Anyway, I'm about ready to dump Facebook altogether. I've gotten rid of a lot of people that were my friends on Facebook because I am sick to death
Yep.
of all their whining and complaining about, and a lot of this stuff that they're posting is not even factual.
Yeah.
And you talk about fake news, and I don't want to use those words because pretty overused by President Trump, but
It's fake news.
I know, but it's not accurate stuff that's being generated out there. And then people get on and comment, and then somebody gets on and bashes them, and it just gets uglier and uglier and uglier. If it did some good, okay.
Great, but it doesn't.
But you know what? It doesn't. All it does is make people think differently about you. And I can say that has happened with some of the people that are my friends on Facebook. I think differently about them today because of some of the angry posts I've seen. I'm sick to death of them. I just can't we all get along? Can't we just be nice?
Mhm.
Anyway, and and do the best with the situation that you are in. I don't know. But anyway, I'm kind of tired of that. How about this story in the news? A convicted criminal whose prison sentence was commuted by former President Joe Biden. Guess what? He's
Back in jail?
back behind bars. Willie Frank Peterson, 52, was convicted of conspiracy to distribute cocaine in 2023. He was sentenced to 6 years and 3 months in jail. His sentence began in September of 23, and this is according to court records obtained by Fox News Digital. Per a January 17th executive grant of clemency, Biden commuted Peterson's sentence to 20 months, allowing him to leave custody shortly after. But just earlier this week, on Monday, Peterson was booked for multiple drug-related offenses in Alabama. And the Dothan Police Department charged him with 2 counts of unlawful possession of a controlled substance and 1 count of possession of marijuana. So how long has he been out? Not very long. January 17th or something like that. And he's back in the clink. So that really worked very well.
I mean, if you're granted clemency by the president, and it was very, very controversial to start off with, you know you're going to have some eyeballs on you.
Absolutely.
Maybe play clean for, I don't know, 6 months, a year.
Yeah.
But yeah, right back at it.
Yeah. Boy, I tell ya.
Maybe he's one of those auto pen guys.
Yeah, exactly. But anyway, so those commutations didn't work very well, at least in that regard. I don't know why you let that guy out in the first place,
No.
but anyway. Let's see. A 53-year-old man convicted of murder was executed by lethal injection in Arizona. Aaron Gunches, who waived his right to a clemency hearing, was put to death for killing his girlfriend's ex-boyfriend, and this was back in 2002. The execution marks the 3rd in the United States this month and the 1st in Arizona since 2022. Green Bay Packers have proposed banning the tush push
The
play.
tush push.
Yeah, in the NFL, aiming to prevent offensive players from pushing teammates forward. The play, popularized by the Eagles and the Bills, is controversial due to injury risks and effectiveness. The proposal will be voted on at the upcoming owners' meeting. And I saw that they're trying, is it now in baseball? Now they're looking at if there is a call on a pitch, they can actually go view it as it comes across the plate.
Yeah.
The first thing I think is let baseball be baseball. Let umpires do their job.
Umpires can't do their job. That's why this is a discussion.
Is that
Yes.
Is that the truth?
Absolutely.
Really?
Yes.
So you're all for this?
I'm all for the automated balls and strikes.
Really?
Yes. I want it correct.
Okay.
I'm tired of seeing the ball 6 inches outside and the guy goes, strike.
Yeah, I guess. I probably don't watch enough baseball.
I watch enough
just
baseball
feel
that
like,
they're not doing it. They're not doing a good job.
Well, so last year, maybe last year, or maybe it was the year before, they brought in you only have so much time for your pitch.
Yep. Speed up the game.
Speed up the game. Now this seems like all it will do is slow the game back down.
The reviews on the pitches, they only get so many per game, so it's not like they can review like multiple ones. You get like just a couple.
Okay.
But for me, I want the automated balls and strikes. Let's set up the computer. We can. I mean, if you
Really?
watch
I
the,
kind of just feel like
No.
it's the great American pastime. Can we leave it alone?
it is a great American pastime. Let's get it right.
Oh, okay.
You got to realize there's millions upon, well, heck, billions upon billions of dollars on these games. And I mean, a couple years back, before they had the instant replay, a guy, one of the very rare things you can do as a pitcher is pitch a perfect game. He had his perfect game ruined because the ump got the call drastically wrong. I mean,
Okay.
the ball was in the guy's glove with the foot about a foot or two away. I mean, he wasn't even close. He blew it that bad.
Oh boy.
And
Okay.
that was one of the things that really got an instant replay going. They're screwing up at such a pace that is why these things are coming in.
Okay. All right. Well, maybe I'll have to come over to your way of thinking. The Trump administration paused $175 million in funding to the University of Pennsylvania due to its policy allowing biological males to compete in women's sports. Hallelujah.
Yes.
That's what I say. This decision followed controversy over trans athlete Leah Thomas winning a national title, prompting debate over fairness and Title IX compliance in sports. I don't care where you go. I don't care who you're funded by. Men should not play in women's sports. Women have worked hard for years and years and years to compete.
Yep.
And it's hard to compete at these top colleges. And then they compete with men. I'm sorry. Men are men, women are women. Compete in your own darn category. That's what I say. So $175 million being held back from the University of Pennsylvania due to that policy. So don't know if that'll change anything for them. But
I'm trying to remember what it was where they grabbed the professors. Maybe it was the Palestinian protests and stuff, where all of a sudden these three professors I guess it was that the Palestinian protesters were Harvard and a couple of other ones came up and just said, oh, it's free speech, it's all fine. And then they're like, well, they're saying kill all the Jews, they're saying kill all these. Is that free speech? Well, yeah, I guess that's free speech. And then all of a sudden the funding went dried up because there was like, I'm not supporting that.
Right.
I'm out of here. And then guess what? All three of them were fired.
Yep, absolutely. All right. Well, we're almost bottom of the hour, and so we'll take a short break here and be back. I want to tell you about the successful thing I ordered during the break on the show the other day. It came yesterday. It's genius.
Is it?
I got to tell you. And I will bring it in next week so we can, for those of you who are watching, you can actually see it. Just want to tell you, I had a successful buy.
It didn't end up being a crock?
No. It goes in the crock. Anyway, I'll tell you about it when we come back on Morning Talk.
Back with more Morning Talk with Mary Dolan and Dave Bishop. Brought to you by Pioneer Care and Fergus Falls Monument Company. After the markets on News Talk 1250 KBRF. Depend on it.
When a loved one passes, we understand that honoring and preserving your family legacy matters. Hi, I'm Ryan Welly with the Fergus Falls Monument Company. Creating your everlasting memorial is our specialty, and creating and crafting them locally is all that we do. Our inventory is extensive, so costs are manageable with the almost unlimited number of designs for you to choose. Your memorial preserves your family legacy with an everlasting warranty now and forever, guaranteed. Call us, visit us online at fergusfallsmonument.com. Memorials that matter.
Text SPORTS to 321-1926 for the latest KBRF sports broadcast schedule.
We're gym rats. Basketball teaches us how to work hard, how to be a leader, and that we should never give up.
Minnesota Motor Company is proud to support all the gym rats in your life and their activities because we understand that playing sports is about so much more than the game. Whether you are cheering for your team at home or on the road, know that our team will be with you every mile.
Minnesota, Minnesota Motor.
Community is important, and you'll find it at Pioneer Point. Spacious apartments, thoughtfully designed for older adults, provide the best in senior living. Heated parking and elevator access makes life easy. Your neighbors at Pioneer Point hold a welcoming, family-like approach to living. Choosing from an array of special features and options, you'll find many ways to define your lifestyle at Pioneer Point. Call or schedule your tour online today at pioneercare.org.
Protect your livelihood with a livestock risk protection policy through Egg Country Farm Credit Services. With an LRP policy, you're covered if the market price unexpectedly drops for fed cattle, feeder cattle, or swine. Coverage options range from 70 to 100%. Get an LRP policy from a team that knows agriculture. Contact your local Egg Country office to learn more. Egg Country, focused on ag, focused on you. Egg Country is an equal opportunity lender and provider.
Markets this hour brought to you by Ag Country Farm Credit Services, a customer-owned cooperative.
Good morning.
morning. Market update here on the Red River Farm Network. I'm Tyler Donaldson. Grains markets starting out the day a bit mixed in trading. Global commodity analytics and consulting analyst Mike Zuzlo says weather premiums are playing a role in that.
Weekly export sales are solidifying the idea that we have not had enough weather damage in the wheat that started this market higher. And when we came into the first of this week, have not had enough weather damage to offset the net reductions on the export sales for the wheat complex for 24-25. Marketing year low, obviously, and I think that spooks the trade in terms of the demand side of the equation. And so what we've seen today is a resumption of buying corn and selling wheat. And we've been able to make new monthly highs in the May contract for the corn market.
Cattle markets seeing some two-sided trading here on this Thursday morning.
The fat cattle continue for a second day in a row trying to play catch up with the feeders and those new record highs. We are seeing the feeder contracts come back around in the deferred contracts, and the hogs are up. So net, we're holding on to some pretty amazing gains this week, watching boxed beef prices jump over $6 on the choice side, back up close to that $330 level, helping to support this market, I suspect.
Cattle markets hovering right around that dollar area, up to the upside and the downside as traders try to figure out just what to do with this market. Reporting agriculture's business, you're listening to the Red River Farm Network.
Minnesota soy checkoff is only the start of the Miracle Beans profitability journey. The Minnesota Soybean Research and Promotion Council invests checkoff resources toward pest and weed management, developing new varieties, creating new uses, and building markets. We're moving the needle. For each dollar Minnesota soybean farmers pay into the checkoff, growers earn over $12 in return earnings. When it comes to improving your bottom line, we cover the field. Learn more about how we add value behind the dollar at mnsoybean.org.
Heavy rains can result in FHB and Don vomitoxin, damaging your crop and diminishing your profitability. You need a fungicide that can stand up to weather and give you powerful protection against Don toxin. You need Spherex fungicide from BASF. Spherex fungicide locks in rain-fast protection in just 15 minutes, up to 8 times faster than other fungicides. Help defend your wheat. Help defend your profits. Contact your retailer about Spherex fungicide. Always read and follow label directions.
World Weather Incorporated senior meteorologist Drew Lerner is your trusted source for agricultural weather. From the northern plains,
we do expect some showers to develop and a couple of thunderstorms. The majority of the meaningful rain, though, is going to be in southern Canada.
To South America,
Buenos Aires, La Pampa, and Cordoba, but it doesn't occur until we get into next week, leaving plenty of time for changes in the forecast.
Drew Lerner, only on the Red River Farm Network. We're reporting agriculture's business.
Join the Red River Farm Network for a live broadcast from the International Sugar Beet Institute in Fargo this upcoming Thursday. This broadcast sponsored by Belchim USA, the makers of Spin-Aid. Belchim USA is committed to the sugar beet industry in the Red River Valley. You'll find out more Thursday in this very special broadcast. That's Thursday, live from the International Sugar Beet Institute in Fargo. Reporting agriculture's business, we're the Red River Farm Network.
Checking quotes, May wheat Minneapolis down 5 3/4 cents, 6.06 even. May wheat Chicago down 9.5 cents, 5.54 even. KC wheat's down 9.5 as well, 5.85 1/4. May corn up 3.5 cents, 4.65 1/2. May soybeans down 2.5 cents, 10.05 3/4. In Winnipeg, May canola is down $7.60 per metric ton, 576.70 Canadian. April live cattle up 60 cents, 207.42. April feeders down 22 cents, 286.50. April lean hogs up 60 cents, 86.17. This is the Red River Farm Network.
Improve yield without an extra step with Quick Shot. Quick Shot is a quality fluency agent and full nutrient package in one ultimate planter box treatment. It provides all the benefits of enhanced flowability, improved singulation, and fewer skips, but with a powerful jolt of nourishment. Go with Quick Shot to help your seed reach its full yield potential. Contact your local Helena representative or authorized dealer for more information about Quick Shot. Always read and follow label instructions and check registration status before use.
I'll never forget the time our annual meeting nearly fell apart because our venue was too small. We were practically elbow to elbow, and it was impossible to stay focused. Then I found the Bigwood Event Center, and it was a game changer. Their space had just the right feel, roomy and flexible, whether we needed a smaller setting or a larger space, or both. They even set up an outdoor area for our team. They thought of everything. It made all the difference. Meetings with impact begin at bigwoodeventcenter.com.
It's time to welcome spring with the annual Planting with the Pros event, March 20th to the 22nd at Nature's Garden World. It's a fun-filled planting experience where you can dig your hands in the dirt and create beautiful 14-inch hanging baskets or planter pots with the help of the planting pros at Nature's Garden World. Keep your eyes open for new plant varieties and store decor. Give them a call and sign up for a 1-hour time slot at Nature's Garden World, Highway 210 East, Fergus Falls.
You want to feel important? You want to be part of something bigger, something that matters, and that you can help change things. You want to feel like you belong. We felt that way too. I'm Sergeant First Class Daphne Pierre from Robbinsdale, Minnesota, and that's why we did something about it. We aren't just Minnesota Army National Guard soldiers. We are people just like you, and together, we can make a difference. Take on your legacy. Visit nationalguard.com/MN to find out more. Sponsored by the Minnesota Army National Guard, aired by the Minnesota Broadcasters Association and this station.
KBRFradio.com news. Get the news that matters delivered straight to your inbox. With KBRF Daily Headlines, you'll stay up to date on everything happening in your community. Sign up today and receive a roundup of the day's top stories all in one email. It's fast, convenient, and it's always free. From local updates to breaking news, KBRF brings you the headlines you need right at your fingertips. Visit KBRFradio.com and sign up for email news sent right to your inbox, delivered by Cooper's Office Supply.
Hi, I'm Tom Connors. Went to Mark Patrick's hypnosis seminar. Nothing worked before. Left there and never smoked again. Easy, affordable, and guaranteed. A year later, with my wife Michelle, attended Mark Patrick's weight loss seminar. She lost 18 pounds, and I lost 43 in 8 weeks.
It's true. He smoked 2 packs a day, and nothing worked until Mark Patrick Hypnosis. Now we're losing weight together, eating healthy, full on half the food, crazy, enjoying exercising. Who would have believed Mark Patrick Hypnosis really worked?
I can breathe again, my blood pressure went down, and I've got so much energy.
So much energy.
And look great.
Stop smoking, lose weight now without cravings, irritability, or your money back. Early bird special, $49.99 guaranteed. Join Mark Patrick's hypnosis seminar and lose the weight, stop smoking, and feel great for only $49.99 guaranteed. Tuesday, April 1st at the American Lodge and Suites Fergus Falls Conference Center. Weight loss seminar at 5:30, registration at 5. Stop smoking seminar at 8. Learn more at markpatrickseminars.com.
KBRF presents Where to Eat, the culinary adventure, sponsored by Dandelion and Burdock and Service Food in Fergus Falls.
Hi, I'm Zach Daniels.
And I'm Dave Bishop, your guide to the region's culinary treasures.
Join us as we explore various restaurants, uncover delicious meals, and highlight each restaurant's signature dish.
Experience diverse cuisine types, unique atmospheres, and must-try dishes. Check it out on KBRFradio.com and the Fergus Now app.
New episodes air every first Friday of the month. Where to Eat, powered by Dandelion and Burdock and Service Food of Fergus Falls.
It's News Talk 1250 KBRF. Listen anytime, any place with the Fergus Now app on your phone. If my phone lets me, we'll hit the forecast for today. Up around 53 for our high. Tomorrow, up around 35. Saturday, 47 with that little rain, snow mixing into Sunday. 35 for Sunday's high, 46 Monday, 49 on Tuesday, and 50 on Wednesday. Right now, Fergus Falls currently sitting in at 29 degrees. This is Morning Talk, brought to you by Fergus Monument and Pioneer Cares. And Mary, one thing, I did bury the lead this morning, the thing that we have to talk about right off the bat.
Okay.
It is officially your favorite time of the year, the first day of spring.
First day of spring, and yes, I'm barefoot in my shoes. So just telling you, I've made the move. I suppose over the weekend I might have to put a pair of socks on. I don't know. We'll see.
What you need are those ugly boots. I think they actually are called Uggs, where you just kind of slip on. You don't need socks or anything. You just gonna.
Yeah, they're furry inside. You mean?
I think so. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm a guy, so I'm not familiar
I
with them.
actually have a pair like that. They're not Uggs, but they're like a slip in, and the top part is made from boiled wool, so they are warm. I got them because I love to just slip into something like when I go to the Y in the morning,
Yeah.
or these are going to be great for out at the lake, because we go out there sometimes in late April, early May. It can be kind of chilly, and it's nice to have something kind of warm, and it's always nice to have something you can just slide into and slide out of.
It seems like every weekend when I want to go out to the lake and get things done, check how everything's going, we got bad weather.
Yeah. And we have most of our bad weather has happened on the weekends.
I know.
So, and here we go again, because it's going to happen this weekend too. So, yeah. Anyway, but spring has sprung. I mean,
Spring
today,
has sprung. I mean, we hit the
4:00 this morning, I think, was the time when here we are.
Yep.
Spring is here. And again, my least favorite time
I
of
know.
year.
That's why I had to introduce it
I
as
know.
your favorite.
I know. I don't like it at all. I mean, I love it. Who doesn't love a day like last
But it's
Friday
dirty
when it
and
was
ugly.
66 degrees? Right. It is dirty and ugly. The other thing is it gets to be 66 degrees, and really, honestly, what can you do?
Ground's still frozen.
Yeah.
Muddy.
There was, I'm trying to remember, was it Thumper Pond, maybe? There was a golf course last weekend, and I'm not exactly
I want to say I think
sure.
you're right. I think it was Thumper Pond.
Thumper, that they opened for one day, and
Yep.
you could just go out there.
No
and
carts or
no
nothing, you just
carts,
go
you
hit
could
around.
just go out there and play. Ground is pretty darn hard, I'll tell you.
I would break clubs.
Yeah, and I wonder, I don't know if their water features are still frozen. I would guess so.
Hey, skip across.
I know. So water hazards, not so big a hazard if they're frozen. So anyway, that was a one-day deal. But there's only so many things that you can do. You can't do any yard work.
No.
You can get out and walk. You can, I don't know, get a lawn chair and sit out in your driveway. That's what we did because it was so nice. We had some friends stop by, and we said, "Gosh, way too nice to be in the house." So the sun happened to be on the west side by the time we got out there. So we thought, well, let's just sit in the driveway. We put up a table and chairs and just sat out there. It felt great.
Yeah, Jen's still at home, and she put out the cushions for the outside coat or sofa and couch.
Yep.
And she just kind of laid out there and read.
Right. Well, okay, so that'll make you feel good too. The stores, of course, have all their patio furniture out right now, so
Yep.
it makes you feel like, oh, it's coming. And we've done a lot of grilling the last week or so.
I've been lazy. I was talking to Jen yesterday, actually, when I saw the forecast for the week, and I rolled my eyes. I'm like, man, I just want to go out there, and I've got 3 racks of ribs that I've been wanting to
Ooh.
smoke for a couple weeks, and it's like every time it looks like I can get out there and smoke them, it's
Then the weather
bad
turns
weather.
south. Yeah.
I mean, it's
Well,
one thing for it to be cold. I can handle the cold. I've smoked turkeys in 2 below.
yes, you have.
But if it's raining, those smokers are electric. They've got electric tools. Plus, you don't want the moisture
Oh,
with the pellets.
okay.
So 'cause
Okay.
that'll create a mess.
It sure will. That's for sure. Okay. So we've talked a little bit about. Oh, I'm going to show you this before I forget.
Okay.
So I hope you can see it.
And
Okay.
people will
So
understand the crock
yesterday,
joke.
yes, they will. Okay. So was it just yesterday I talked about this?
Yeah.
I think so. During the break, I was looking at something, and we were talking about online shopping yesterday and some of the fraud that's going on. Well, of course, this came up in my news feed, and it was an Amazon thing. And so I knew that I could trust buying something from Amazon. So I wasn't worried about
But
it.
you have to make sure it is Amazon.
You do have to make sure it is Amazon. Yes. Anyway, and I thought it looked like a genius product. And what it is 2 pieces that fit together, and then, but they are separate, but they fit together inside your crock pot so that you could put potatoes on one side and gravy in the other. They're 2 specific pieces. I'm going to show you the picture. So tell me if I've got it in the right spot.
You might need to get a little closer. I wish I had a wireless remote on that thing. There we go. That people can see it now.
Okay. Anyway, it's super cool. And I'm going to bring it in because these two pieces are silicone, that rubbery stuff,
Yep.
and they compress. What am I trying to say? They fold down.
Yeah.
And so it came in a box about this big, just a little tiny box about the size of a good sized book. And they collapse. And so the two pieces take up zero room.
I think if my wife is listening, she's currently on Amazon.
Oh, well, she needs these. I'll send you the link because it's really a cool product. In fact, usually when I order this kind of stuff, my husband's like, oh, for heaven's sakes, that kind of thing. Well, I had my husband, my son-in-law, and 3 of my grandkids there last night when I opened it, and they're all like, oh, that's really cool. That could be useful. And it's not a big thing that you can't store because it collapses. It's
Yep.
that silicone. But so often I have, just a little bit of two things that go together, like potatoes and gravy. But maybe I don't want to take out 2 crock pots to take care of that, which is what I usually do. This way, I don't have to do that.
I like the mini crock pots.
Well, I do that too, but I think of like Thanksgiving or whenever we have a big family meal, I do put a lot of my stuff in crock pots. That way, it's everybody, it's always hot. If you can want to go back for seconds, it stays hot. And so often we have grandkids coming and going. So it's kind of a short order kitchen. And so crock pots kind of save our lives this time of year, especially. But again, if you don't need the whole crock pot, this is a good way to divide it. And the part I love the most is that it doesn't take up a lot of room. And so when it's collapsed, it fit right inside of another frying pan.
Oh, okay.
So it didn't take up any additional room. So once in a while, you order something that looks kind of, I don't know, like, will I ever use this? I'm going to use this. It's super cool. I like it a lot.
I didn't get a response from Jen, so I think she's sleeping and
Oh.
not listening, so we don't have to worry about an Amazon shipment to the
Okay,
house.
well, that's good. That's good. But anyway, so once in a while, some of those things do work, and you order something, and it was like, I think it was like $16
Well,
or
that's not
something.
bad.
Yeah, I mean, so I knew if it was a mistake, it wasn't a terrible mistake. But I think it's going to be
That'd be something
very useful.
That'd be something really neat if, like, the market. That'd be like perfect for the market to sell those.
Yes, absolutely. In fact, I might go and visit with them and say, you know what, this would be and they've got so many cool gadgets.
They've got a lot of. That's what
who knows? Maybe
they have it
I should have checked first before.
because they've
ordered
got
it,
so
but
many cool kitchen gadgets. That,
I love kitchen
quite
gadgets.
honestly, that was the first thing I was thinking of. I wonder if the market sells that.
Yeah, I absolutely love kitchen gadgets. In fact, I've got a sister-in-law who every Christmas she gives all of the girls, the cousins, the nieces,
Yeah.
a kitchen gadget, and she always picks out the coolest stuff. And I'm going to have to show her this one or maybe I'm going to give the kitchen gadget next year because
Well, there you go. That'd be. Don't show her to her. Give it to her. That's
yeah,
that's a gift worthy thing.
I think it's a really cool idea. So anyway, I wanted to share that with those of you who are watching this morning. And if you're not, you can always go back and watch it later.
I might give that to Jen for Mother's Day.
Yes. Yeah, if she's not tuned in.
Yeah, I think she went back to sleep.
Okay.
She's
so-
kind of enjoying her last week of staying home.
Oh, well, good for her. Okay. And she's feeling good.
She's feeling well.
Okay, that's great. Okay, well, speaking of feeling well, how about these 2 people that came back from space, having been there for 10 months or something like
Yeah,
that?
a little over 9 months.
Butch Wilmore and Sonny Williams spent 286 days in space. But what does that do to your body when you come back? I've heard a couple of people who have walked in space before or have been in space for a time and then came back to a place where there's actually gravity. And they said the funniest things is you're so used to like holding a glass of juice and then just letting it go and walking away because it just hangs there.
Yep.
And they said that is the one thing that people usually do first. You hand them a soda or something, and then they go like this, and they drop it, and they walk away. They said that their arms and legs feel super heavy
Well,
when they get
muscles
here.
basically atrophy.
Well, yeah, although they have been working out,
Yeah.
thankfully. So they came back in pretty good shape. But, you don't think about how you would get so used to,
Yep.
you would get so used to there being no gravity.
There was a study. I can't remember if it was, who's that astronaut, Senator Mark something or another, or his brother.
Mark Kelly.
Mark Kelly or his brother, because they're twins and they're both astronauts.
Right.
So they put one of them, I don't know if it's Mark or his brother, on the space station for a year and had kept his brother in like seclusion or something on Earth. And then they compared them side by side, because when you got twins, that's comparing apples to apples,
Right,
basically.
exactly.
And so they compared and they were checking to see, some of the things that took place because of spending a year in space. And it was very interesting.
Yeah, I think they sent his brother to space.
It
And
was
Mark
his brother,
Kelly was
Mark.
on-
Mark
I
yeah.
think.
Like I said, I couldn't remember who. It was
Yeah,
just.
I'm not exactly
just
sure
odd
either.
that you've got a twin.
A set
and
of
they're
twins that are both astronauts. Medical teams rushed to put the astronauts on stretchers upon their return. You probably saw that.
That is par for the course. They do that every time.
Yep, they
and,
do.
And they did all 4 of them on that. And they
Yep.
do anytime there's a return, because they said, their leg muscles, they want to be safe.
Everything's weakened.
So
Yep.
they slide out of the capsule, and then they lift them up on the stretcher, and then send them out.
Yep, and then they put him on some kind of. It looked like a wheelchair where your feet or your legs are
that was
extended.
that was
kind
a
of.
stretcher.
Yeah. Okay.
It's kind of an upright stretcher.
Yeah. Anyway, being in space for prolonged periods of time can also build up fluids in your head. It can actually change the shape of your eye.
Yep. You lose your vision.
And lead to cognitive decline. Gee, all those things sound like a lot of fun. Anyway, they said the astronauts could need up to 6 weeks of rehab. So I don't know if those changes then would begin to change back, or
Yeah.
can you rehab them back to the way they were?
Most of the stuff is rehabbed back. Another thing is you pretty much lose your sense of smell after a couple days, because your sinuses just get plugged because all the fluid can't come down. It just kind of stays up there.
Yes, so many weird things happen. That's for sure.
But you're in space, so that's kind of cool.
Yeah, not for that long. That I could never do that. I could never get into that capsule in the first
I'm
place.
claustrophobic.
Yeah,
There's no way.
that would not work for me. I couldn't do that. Let's see. Here is a serial bank robber and a crime novelist. He is allegedly at it again.
Was he pardoned by Biden? That's my question.
Maybe. Dorian Trevor Sykes was arrested on Tuesday for robbing 2 Detroit area financial institutions after a year after being released from prison for similar crimes. In his spare time, Sykes enjoys writing crime novels. Well, he knows it best, right?
Well, they always say, write what you know.
I guess. His works include King of Detroit, The Good Life, and Born to Die. Sykes' history paints a troubling and unmistakable picture of a person who has a complete disregard for the law, which kind of sounds like him.
Yep.
Anyway, he's back at it, and it looks like he's been apprehended again.
Hey,
there.
real quick, I do want to give a quick shout out to La Ferme. That's where we were at yesterday for Where to Eat.
yes.
We filmed that yesterday, and
What's it called?
La Ferme.
Okay.
It's French for the farm.
Oh.
And they got a lot of sustainable stuff. There's one sandwich that Zach had. It's called the Local. Everything is produced locally. I mean, down to the bread. Everything's in
wow.
Minnesota. And so really, really good. I had the Cuban. I love the Cubano. That's one of my favorite sandwiches. Derek had an awesome burger that had like locally raised beef, and it was really cool. It's going to be an awesome episode. We're going to have that one here on April 4th, shortly after their 13-year anniversary. So if you're in Alec, give it a shot. They're open during the day. They're kind of a lunch place, but Soup and Salad, phenomenal place. Check it out. And again, we'll have that
Sounds
episode
good.
coming up in a couple weeks.
I've got a couple of favorite spots in Alexandria, so I might have to do that, and I'll make that one of my additional ones.
Yeah, and just say you heard about it from Zach and Dave.
Okay, sounds good. Well, how about this one? A new mom posted her conundrum on Reddit after her husband turned away her mother-in-law. While she was pregnant, the mother-in-law offered to help when the baby was born, but the mom refused, and she said, I appreciate that she wanted to help, but I want some time to recover, and I want us to just be our own little family, which I totally understand. She wrote, anyway, however, her husband never told his mother not to come. And so she showed up with a suitcase a few days after the birth.
Uh-oh.
Apparently, my husband never actually told her that she was not to stay with us. He ended up telling her that now wasn't a good time, and she left furious. Actually turned her away. Well, that was a really good idea. Anyway, the original, she said she feels guilty, but you have to set some boundaries, and you
Yes.
kind of have to do that from the beginning. And your husband just failed to communicate that, so that is all on him.
Yes.
Recovering from childbirth is exhausting, and you deserve a stress-free environment. And the other thing is, especially if it's your first baby, you kind of want to make any mistakes that you're going to make.
Yeah.
You kind of want to do it on your own,
You-
and if you need help, you can call somebody.
Yeah, I was going to say she can stand by as phone a friend.
Yeah, I know.
I know when Jen had her surgery, we had multiple family members say, hey, we can stay with you. And she goes, I've got Dave. I'm fine.
Yeah,
I'm
I know.
an adult.
I know. Yeah, exactly. I know. No time for a trivia question?
Oh, we got time.
2? Okay. All right. This one is so easy. I can't even believe I'm going to give it to you. What is another name for a footrest?
Another name for a footrest would be an ottoman.
Yes. Ugh. You get some easy
That
ones.
was an easy one.
Which U.S. gangster described himself as a used furniture dealer on his business card?
I'm going to go.
He's pretty famous.
I was going to say, I'm going to go the easy one, Al Capone.
Al Capone,
There we
that's
go.
who it is. All right, 2 for 2. Oh my goodness. And let's see what else is happening.
We got about 20 seconds.
Okay, well, I'm not going to do that one because it's a free Friday, and I don't know that our store in Fergus is participating, so I'll stay away from that. Okay, coming up on 10 o'clock, that's going to wrap up another week. Our show today and every day brought to us by Pioneer Care and by Fergus Falls Monument Company. Have a great weekend.